So one of the core concepts of a drill down report is to provide information as fast as possible. And one of the ways on how you can do that is actually by utilizing dynamic titles. And in order to do that, there's actually not a lot of things you have to do, but I'll just quickly showcase you. So we have two donut charts right here. One of them has a static title, the other one doesn't have anything right now. And that's on purpose because we're going to build a dynamic title together. So on this one, you can see we have the hierarchy of investor, season, and then go down to the episode. So if I choose something, let's say Mark Cuban, you can see we go down to the season. I choose one season, go down to the episode itself. Now, sure, I can hover over the center part, and that's going to give me a highlight to showcase the previously selected level. We also tried to, when creating the visuals at Zoom Charts, we try to provide as much information as possible. So for example, you also see these inner circles as a reference layers, but that doesn't really tackle the issue at hand, right? I want to quickly see all the levels that I have selected. So that doesn't really solve the issue at a very core. Now, in order to create something like that, what we're going to be doing is actually doing something relatively simple. We're going to be creating a measure, which I have already done previously just to save a little bit of time. You can see the measure is essentially a combination of selected value plus some sort of separator. So we use a selected value for each of the columns, and then we provide an alternative result. So instead of, if I choose multiple investors, I'm going to show multiple investors. If I choose one, it's going to give me the name. And these ones I use as a separator, because if I don't have these separators, essentially the text is going to be just clustered together. Now, once we have the measure itself, one way on how I can add the title is, for example, by adding just a text box. So I'm going to take that right here and move it down to the visual, then resize it a bit. There we go. So, and one of the things that you can actually do in a text box is reference a measure or a value that you already have in your data set. So for that, we click right here on the plus value, then type in, so for example, in my it's title for donut, I think it was. Title for donut. I use that. I click on save. You can see it uses that measure. Now, of course, I want to make sure that it looks the same as the rest of the titles, for example. So I'm going to change the size for 16, Segway UI light, and put it on bold so it's sort of like a semi-bold. So now that we have the title, the main difference is going to be if I click on Mark Cuban, you can see it automatically applies the selection here. I go into a specific season. I choose a specific episode, for example. You can see I have the full hierarchy available to me at any given time. So that just helps your user to navigate the reports and understand what exactly has been filtered. Now, this doesn't have to be done strictly on one particular visual. You can actually do this on the report page itself. So for example, in this example, you can see that we have a title right here at the very top, instead of going for individual visuals. And what that allows me to do is, for example, if somebody chooses a particular country, let's say I choose USA, you can see the title automatically changes sales overview, United States by multiple brands. I choose, for example, one specific brand here. Now United States by AdventureWorks, and that's the timeline. I highlight the specific region, and that also adapts to the selection. So you're always providing insights to your end user on where he's located and how did they actually get here. Now, when you're using dynamic titles and you're also using, let's say, the cross-chart filtering capability, one of the most important things to do is also add a reset button that just allows you to quickly back to the initial result without any hassle.